Just welcome. It's the Bumper Breakfast on MITV, and this is another beautiful Tuesday morning. My name is Tomisin Ojo. We're here with you again today. Hope you've been enjoying the music served to you this morning by Oluwaseun Joseph, who is our OD for this morning. But of course, we get to enjoy some more of that music sometime during the show. Joining me this morning is Yinka. And of course, she's here looking all beautiful and green. And I wish you could just stand up so that you could see what I saw this morning. But Yinka, good morning. How are you?
And the director had to show the
I didn't say it.
He had to show what is it that you want viewers to see this morning. Good morning, everyone. It's good to be here again on another beautiful Tuesday morning. You know, this is what we do on a daily basis, and I'm always here on Tuesdays. Anyway, it's good to resume to work. You know, my reason. When people talk to me on Mondays, a couple of people are used to, me not being at work on Mondays, and they're like, you, Monday of all this. I said, it's just good.
It's the feeling. It's part of what it takes to be broadcasting anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
You get to work hours.
You get to work 2-4-7.
So whether you're in the office or not, just tell them, I'm not working from work.
I'm working from work.
But let's take a look at the front page of stories this morning. I start with the Guardian newspaper. Fatigue slows down Nigeria's COVID-19 fight as the minister tells Nigerians to adopt the treatment protocol. INCB, WHO, UNODC, insist on approved medicines, and Africa marks 6 months of first COVID-19 cases. I wonder why we mark all of these things. But of course, surprise, outrageous tribunal nullifies Diri's Apex Court's victory. Don't panic, we will get justice, Diri tells supporters. Mixed tales as WASC kicks off nationwide. And of course, 36 governors for judicial autonomy, says Fayemi. ICSAN, that's ICSAN, warns against publishing unclaimed dividends in newcomer. These are stories on the front page of the Guardian this morning.
Okay, this morning from the front page of the Punch newspaper, and the lead story there is Chinese loan. Terms dangerous, says reps as FG confirms sovereignty clause. Nigerian government officials signed empty pages of loan agreement. $326 million loan on rice farming yet to be disbursed 4 years after signing. Amechi defends contentious clause. DMO provides 3 out of 14 documents, and the picture story is wax old while false rumored paper leakage. Exam suffers delay. And also we have serial killers escape. 2 cops face orderly room trial. Lawmakers demand probe. Wogun pastor blames evil spirit for impregnating 2 sisters. Ondo Jegede picks rep as running mate, and 2.2 million voters pick Edo governor on September 19. How X-Men killed my fiancé, kidnapped me, or your female farmer. Unilag increases security presence as Showumbo resumes, and on top of the nameplate we have scarcity disrupts banks, IOCs, telcos, forex payments. International flights, PTF differs as Sirica fixes August 29. Diri to appeal as tribunal sacks Bayelsa governor, orders fresh poll. If I respond to PGFDG, it's like fighting a pig. That's a statement by Oshiomole. Nigerian traders shops. FG considers retaliatory actions against Ghana. And that's all the stories in the Punch newspaper this morning.
All right, let's take a look at the Nation newspaper. I see the picture story this morning just bears the pupils of State Senior High School at Limosho, Lagos, writing the West Africa Senior School Certificate Examination WASC yesterday. Now this is what we call social distancing. All right, the banner headline of the Nation newspaper talks about the Chinese loan, and Hamichi reps in face-off over $33 billion Chinese loan. I think that figure is a little bit wrong, because Amechi was talking about a 1.5 billion loan and not 33 billion naira. Okay. But Minister Lawmaker Scrutiny can install Lagos Calabar Coastline Rail Line. Writer Amechi said the award so far is for $1.6 billion loan and not $33 billion loan. So there seems to be a mix-up there. Banks ration forex as dollar scarcity bites harder. Governor's convoy attacked with pistol. We have 50 people were arrested. 2 policemen held for Oyo suspects escape. Unilag Oguntikwe AG, that's the acting VC, shunned the office. Oshomole DG PGF being used by cowards. Senator lashes Lickman. Okay. Bayelsa Governor Jury appeals the SAG party fielded underaged. NBS inflation now 12.82%. Strict rules as international flights resume August 29. And Wada Mida dies at 70. Because you have stories relating to the Edo and Edo 2020. Buhari warns against violence. Obaseki importing thugs. INEC presents voter register to 14 parties. Jegele picks lawmaker as his running mate. And Unity Forum dissolves into Akere Dolu's campaign team. Those are stories from the nation.
Okay, from the Nigerian Tribune this morning, we have the front page coming with the lead story of COVID-19 tests a must as international flights resume August 29. Patient rights was at isolation center as exams begin under strict protocols. Task force warns states on fund use. Governors back judicial autonomy. NEC NGF move to reduce out-of-school children by 70%. And stop political favoritism in 774,000 job allocation. That's PDP telling federal government. And then we have reps Amechi differ on $33 billion rail project loan. That's lawmakers query DMO over non-inclusion of contract agreements. Demand details on $500 million satellites rural telephony contracts. How Ibadan suspected serial killer escaped. That is a statement by the Oyo Commissioner of Police. A lawmaker wants thorough investigation. No new projects in 2021. That's a statement by the federal government. And Bajabia Miller pushes for African countries' debt cancellation. Coyotes using Progressive Governors Forum DG against me. That is Oshomole talking this morning. And then we have Tribunal nullifies Bayelsa Governor's election. Orders fresh election. Jury to appeal judgment. Nigerians comatose refineries gulf 10 billion naira in 1 year.
Nigerian refineries comatose. Wow. 110
billion naira.
Is that 10 billion or 110?
That's 10 billion. That's 10 billion naira.
Wow. In 1 year.
In 1 year.
Wow.
And Southern Kaduna, El Rufai can meet. I hope something good is going to come out of that meeting. And that's all the stories we can take from the Nigerian Tribune this morning.
Right, those are the stories on the front page of the 4 papers we're taking a look at this morning. Of course, we have a guest in the studio. And our next conversation, we're looking at some legal implication for some of the stories. Of course, you have Diri's election that was nullified yesterday, having to be appealed. What is the legal implication for, remember there was a story before, Bayelsa governorship election as well. Let's look at everything with our legal person this morning who's going to be talking to us. Our legal expert is Olayinka, Ola-Daniels. And he'll be back here after the break.
This month, we're bringing you a host of brand new faces to fall in love with. Meet Fesh, a young inspiring musician tasked with ridding his community of crime and corruption.
I'll play along. How do we tackle corruption?
Introducing Allegra, a strong-minded investigator on a mission to find his sister's murderer.
There's some thought into this. You sticking around?
Till I find out what happened to Felicity.
Presenting Arabella, a young celebrity in London trying to piece her life back together following a harrowing assault.
I didn't just gather the pieces.
Make way for Ibrahim, a love Dr. Deluxe, whose specialty is reigniting the spark in ailing relationships.
Now I have a clearer picture. What is it that we can do? Why are you here? How can we help?
And all hail Sadie, a wacky wizard in training trying to balance her magical powers and life in high school. Brand new, just for you on DSTV.
Going out of the house these days, no be am at all. All the work where I get to do, I try do am from inside house. But a few times, like once or twice a week, I got to come out to go the neighborhood store to buy food and other essentials. And when I'm out, I avoid crowded places and try to be at least 2 meters away from people. And me too, if I'm sick, I stay at home. But when I'm out and I feel like I want to cough or sneeze, I do that into my flex elbow. Or I cough or sneeze into a tissue that I will dispose of in a bin. If I see person where I know on my close party, I dey hail them from far. You see, my people, it will take heroes to stop the spread of COVID-19.
Be a superhero. Save your friends and family, community and country from coronavirus disease known as COVID-19. You are the superhero that Nigeria is waiting for. Will you answer the call?
Imagine this. Your friend says to you, "Hey man, look what my big bro sent to me. It appears there's an easy way to stop the virus from entering your body." And then you say, "Oh wow, please forward it to me, let me share." And then you send it to one person who sends it to other people and they share it with other people, all without verifying this information. This misinformation might get more people infected and lives lost. Now, imagine this. Your friend says,
once in a day.
Welcome back. It's all the bumper breakfast this morning, and of course joining us is Olayinka, Ola-Daniels. Been a while that we've had fun with him on the show, but he joins us this morning. First of all, I must say he looks smashing, as in he really looks prim and proper, younger, I must say. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you on the bumper.
And if I'm permitted to use the word, he's looking pretty. Can we say pretty for a man?
No. That's like it's just looking really.
Let's give it to him this morning.
Thank you.
I think the weight loss actually suits you. I think it suits you, but for those of us who are
I think a number of people said that I should maintain
just maintain this, because I think it suits you really. Okay. And sometimes as you age, you need to begin to be conscious about your health and the way you look. So it's a pretty new look and a good one.
Thank you for the compliment.
Happy COVID-19, new normal. How have you been coping?
I've been doing all we have to do, observing all measures, doing the necessary things, social distances. For me, if I don't have to go out, I work from home. It's extremely important that I go out. That is when you see me out there. So all, even interviews, everything, I was in Zoom, Skype, meetings, and except I go to court. And that even happened when they even open up.
I had to plead with him yesterday. I said I wanted a physical appearance. I do not want to. And when I said that to him, he said, okay, I will try.
I think this is the first time I'm coming out to any studio, any TV.
I'm just
first time after the COVID thing.
After COVID? Wow.
Yeah.
So were you in church on Sunday?
Yeah, this Sunday I was in church, and I was in church for 1 hour because I told them in my church I will only come for 1 hour.
Yeah, but it's 1 hour.
No number of churches workers will come from 7 and you'll be there till like 11. I said, no, me 1 hour, I will come. Well, whether it's 9 to 10 I want to do. So I drive in, 9, I enter. Once it's time, whether you want to go on with your service or not.
I'm moving. I was just telling the people in my church too yesterday that I wouldn't allow you to make me scapegoats because people will be watching.
And seriously, to be fair to my own church, I didn't have the privilege of visiting other churches, but so my church was well arranged. In fact, before you come in, you must have your face masks, then the checking your temperature and all, you wash your hands. Then this place, in fact, we had 2 meters away from every seat.
I said that.
Yes,
we had one.
They tried my church,
but we made sure that we have a big auditorium. The rule is 50% capacity. So we made sure it was more than 50%. I put it on social media yesterday.
And immediately our own got to 50%. If you're coming, you'll be outside. You're not coming in.
No, what we actually did was some people registered online, then some people, while coming in, were registering, and it was
that's true. We even had that. You come in, you sign your name, and we have registered at the heart, so they must know people that were in church.
And everybody came in with a face mask. Let me make you laugh a bit. I used the face shield, and at the point I was going up on the altar to take the announcement, the face shield, you are just unconscious that the face shield, and somehow I'm like, this thing, and because we're transmitting the service online. I said, before people will see it now and say, Yinka Kenny, before you go and shout on TV. So but the irony of it was that the mic, it wasn't coming out. The face shield has
blood.
But the church had to say,
at least where you were, the distance from the altar to the congregation.
What you would do is that's what some pastors did. So if the pastor is preaching with the face shield, he uses a lapel because most pastors engage people and move around. So they use a lapel mic, so they don't have to look at anybody and endanger anybody. They're not holding anything. The lapel is for them alone. So I think every other person should have.
And I would really commend my church. I noticed that initially I didn't notice it, but I realized that my choir, unlike there was no rotational. Maybe this set, that set, and it was the same set of people on the same mic. But I didn't notice it until I was going on the pulpit and the usher came to give me my own mic. Before getting to, I was like, oh, for real? So everybody has got this one. So everybody has got, so nobody was using someone else.
Sharing.
Yes, it was good. I hope we continue that. Yes, I intend calling somebody during the week to do a video of what's going on in the mosque. Let's see what's going. I know there was a time when they
started before us.
Yes,
we went to Agege Mosque. We went to the National the House of Assembly Mosque. We were also at I think Jibowo, and they did well. Pretty much the services that were held. We have a mosque in our premises.
Yes.
The services they hold there, but the central mosque in Alausa here. They did well. Wash your hands.
Let's look at the mosque that are located much more at the remote areas. Let's say,
and that's what I've been
saying. I had an imam on the show at the beginning of the COVID-19, and he said that initially they did not close the churches and the mosques. They just talked about the social distancing, and he said something I would never forget. I heard it for the first time, and since then it's stuck. He said there's something they do in the mosque that while they are praying, they do this Saturday day that you have to touch your neighbor. They call it Saturday day. So he told the congregation that as much as it is religious, they have to do it, but because of the COVID pandemic, no Saturday day in the mosque. I said, wow, that's good. That's not bringing being too fanatic about religious beliefs. When we have to bend because of the present situation, we find ourselves in. We should.
Well, let's take a look at some of our stories this morning. We're starting with the story of the Bayelsa State Governor, Duri, who was sacked by the tribunal. yesterday. I'm sure, Mr. Olayinka, you're familiar with the story. And this morning, I'm just particularly interested in the background story. Remember, this is the second time somebody's been sacked in Bayelsa. This is the second time. And let's look at the legal implication of all of these things. And then what do you foresee happening there? Because, you know, every case in Nigeria lands at the Supreme Court. So what do you foresee?
Well, you've said it. We have the Court of Appeal. And if you are not pleased with any judgment,
yes,
you can go ahead and seek redress in Court of Appeal. If you get a Court of Appeal and the same judgment in favor of you, you can still proceed to the Supreme Court, where you have the final say. Whatever happened at the Supreme Court, you have no choice. You can fight it. You have to go to God.
But you know, we were very surprised that this happened. A lot of people didn't even know there was anything related to Bayelsa still at the tribunal. Is there supposed to still be a tribunal after months of
unfortunately, this is where we found ourselves. Ordinarily, the provisions of the law is that 90 days, whatever you want to do after elections, 90 days, wrap it up and let it go. But what we have now is over 200 and something days.
So is the judgment
by COVID-19?
Well, you can take it out. You can take it out because at some point, don't forget we had a lockdown.
Yes.
Nobody was going out. And even when it was gradually opening, you know, we were mindful of crowd, people gathering at one point. So court, you know, was not even in operation. Yes. So we can say it's possible that COVID added to, though everybody will hide under COVID now for even our lapses, whatever. But to be frank with it, we can take it out that COVID also may have contributed to the,
because he was sworn in February 14,
yes,
the Valentine Day. That was when he was sworn in. So if he was sworn in February 14, it means between the time when the country went on lockdown to the time where he was sworn in was just about, say, a month and a few days.
So that's less than our legal system. You don't get such judgment within such time. So we can take it away from that. But
so are we saying that from the legal aspect now, can we the judgment is it tenable considering the number of days?
No, you see,
because I know that when the lockdown was eased partially, I know that we were having some virtual judgments. You know, we had 1 or 2 judgments virtually. So
you have said judgment. It means that there were processes that they've had before that time.
Okay.
It was just to give, and don't forget that when in our law, at least when you had completed, when defense has been closed and everything had gone, and judgment within 90 days, you must give judgment. So what we are saying as the judgment during the COVID, it wasn't one day, it wasn't 1 month. So there are processes. Yeah, it just got to that point, and they had to deliver the judgment within the stipulated period of time. That was what you saw
yesterday.
No. I was making referring to our own reference. Yeah. So that what you saw, it wasn't 1 month, but the judgment, there was enough time. They had to give that judgment within that time. That was why we saw that the judgment that was given.
So there couldn't have been the procedures couldn't have been undergone during virtually or something. For he to have lapsed for this, because it's been long.
Reason why, if you look at it, what I go to court is a physical court. I've never had virtual court, and that's the reason why they look at cases that will come before us. Even the court is even trying to manage the cases that are coming, and if what we want to do now is this whether trial, I'm not going to entertain trial, or if I say that this is going to take a lot, we will not entertain it. If it's something that is not contendable, or trial that is not on the we can see that it's not really going to drag us, fine, we can allow it. And that is why you see that we're going to court now when you talk about the virtual one, we don't have the facilities. That's the truth. Except we're going to be deceiving ourselves, because that happened because probably was judgment. Now you want us to do trial. And I'm in my office, the other person is in the office, and even your the network, whatever they are using, is not even sound, it's not even working properly. So what you hear is, yes, my lord, I can't hear what you're saying. Oh, my lord, please come again. And you may take that. We are talking about how many cases, if you look at the cost list, maybe you have 10, maybe you have 12. So you're going to do one, and you're going to spend like 1 hour or thereabout on, I can't hear, or it's not working.
What the time frame for the physical court, if you were in the physical?
No, well, the courts that I have attended, what they did, in fact, when we resumed, we got messages from those courts.
Okay.
Now, when they send the message, they give us time. You understand? The court starts from 9. Now, when let's say they have their list, then they send a message to you, maybe you come, your matter is for 9 o'clock, yours is for 10 o'clock, mine is for 11 o'clock.
So quite swift.
So it means that, okay, when people are coming, maybe he has, for the day, maybe he has like 15 files to treat, and he has distributed, maybe the 9 one is just going to allow like 2 or 3 litigants with their counsel in the courtroom. So when you are through with yours, the 10 o'clock people come. So we've been doing that. Rotational, and it's working. But the one I've attended, I don't know about some other courts, how they do theirs. Maybe they just, from 9, so everybody come into court. But at least the one I've attended, very orderly.
So now let's go back to Bayelsa stage now. We've heard about February to about around 50 days from March, roughly about 7 months. No, I'm even calculating March, April, May, June, July. So we had an average of 150 days within that period, plus the extra maybe 20 days, extra 16 days in March, in February. Plus
and don't forget that this matter started even before February. A party went to court to say, you did not list our party logo and our party name on the ballot paper, meaning disenfranchising our people from voting for us. So this has been there. While the other party went to court, they also went to court. So while the judgment was given,
so that PDP won,
yes,
their matter was still in.
Their matter was in court. So it was there. It was just that, okay, the time this one came. You can see what happened. The judgment came just 2 days, because the man was even rehearsing when the judgment came, maybe overnight, thereabout. And judgment came, and that was it. So, but this judgment couldn't come then, because there are processes in court. Yes, you file these, there are different applications from different councils and all that. So the court will hear them.
How long is the tribunal supposed to sit after an election?
I just said it. 90 days. Under 90 days. Anything on election petition should be rounded up on the 90 days.
So as it is now, where are we?
Well, what we are saying is something we can work on, and well, we can see, and I think every day we see the problem coming to our face. And if all stakeholders will play their game well, I think we will not be in this mess. For instance, why should a party registered in 2018? The election we are talking about was last year. Not so. Now, that was 2019. Now, you did not list this. You didn't list the party's logo and the names and all that. Look at this party we are talking about. Now, you said you've not heard about the party before, and I was joking to ask whether you know all the parties in Nigeria. But now the question is, this same party, very possible that they may not even have 50 votes,
but they have a case.
They have a case now, because INEC has given room for that. If INEC has done their bit by putting these things on the ballot box, I don't think this room will go to court to say our logo or our name is not on the ballot box.
I think something happened in one of the states that INEC had to, something similar. INEC had to, I can't remember the states now. INEC had to go print a new set of
if I can remember, what happened was they had already printed ballot box,
exactly,
which included the party. Yes, so when they now came up to say they have deregistered some parties, they printed another ballot box
and excluded
a ballot paper and excluded this party. So immediately the party made theirs and the election came. They now had to go back to the first ballot paper they printed, which their names were included, and they were able to feature that. Something would have happened.
Now, having said this, and the Bayelsa governor has been sacked, according to, and we're thinking about fresh polls in Bayelsa state right now. Now, INEC, what is the position of INEC in all of this?
Well, INEC is saying it's going to appeal. Yeah, it's going to appeal to say that no, that maybe the court was misinformed. So when we get to that point, when we get to the bridge, we'll cross it.
So from your form as a lawyer, as a legal practitioner, do you think INEC has a case?
Well, for me, INEC goofed. And I don't see INEC, even at the Court of Appeal, I don't see them winning. Yes, because
there are two cases going to the Court of Appeal now. INEC is going to the Court of Appeal. Though a jury is
well, you see, it's funny because really, we're going to Court of Appeal. I don't know, is a prayer, because what the court has said is conduct a fresh poll, because INEC that is dealing with INEC. So going to Court of Appeal to say no, you cannot sack me. I don't see him I don't see. Thank you, because he's not about you.
Not even the party.
He's not about your party. Yes.
Right now. It's
Thank
not the
you.
party.
So you can't say.
So all of this going to court. Tomisin, please, before you do that, all of this going to Court of Appeal, INEC going to Court of Appeal, jury going to Court of Appeal, and elections and all that. What is the duration of time? Because we're looking at election in 90 days.
The law gives 90 days. Unfortunately, you see, this thing comes up every time, and it's sad that the stakeholders don't even take clue from the falls, from the challenges they've had in the past, and to make sure that there's correction. Now we have 90 days. Now they're going to go to Court of Appeal. Of course, notice of appeal is 21 days. Yes. You file that under 21 days. Now you go to Court of Appeal. Let's say Court of Appeal also take. I hope they will expedite action, and let's even say under few weeks, a month.
That's after 21 days. 21 days is in.
You file within 21 days.
Okay.
So then Court of Appeal is not just sleeping. Court of Appeal also has a number of cases files.
Exactly.
Then they will pick a date for that. That's the reason I'm saying, let's say under a month, they expedite action, and they have it before Court of Appeal. And maybe the same thing, the decisions of the tribunal is still what the Court of Appeal is upholding. Then they have to then proceed also to the Supreme Court.
Yes.
Now, while they are doing that, time also is counting. And don't forget, so what can happen is to expedite action and to see that all these finishes under 1 to 2 months, so that they can meet up with the 90 days.
Yes.
For the new election. So I think that is what they should be working on. INEC should just be proactive. While you are doing that, put on your think tank and be working on, another election. Because the way I see it, it may end up at another election in Bayelsa. But unfortunately, don't forget that taxpayers' money are coming into place. They're still going to spend money for that election. Parties will spend their money because they still have to campaign, they still have to do all the necessary things, and INEC will also have to spend money to conduct that election. Why can't you avoid all this? To be proactive and see beyond, have foresight. Okay, what will it take? So all these things, we should not be here. No. We should have gone beyond.
There is a matter, related to this that we've not talked about at all, and that's the fact that ANDP happens to be one of the deregistered parties by INEC. So maybe having a glimmer of hope, winning the appeal court judgment that INEC cannot deregister them due to the fact that INEC didn't follow due process, you know, gave them the glimmer of hope to now go back to get this kind of judgment. Because, you know, that's what's happening.
Exactly.
Because you now see that they were deregistered since...
The question is, don't forget, I said the party was registered
as at the time
2018.
But they were deregistered.
What was the election time? Election was
2019.
And don't forget to deregister is to say that, okay, your party was not able to win any, or even councillor, nothing and all that. But that hasn't happened when you didn't put their names on the ballot box.
So nullify. So now INEC has 2 cases in the court.
So when you now deregistered, they went to court because before they were deregistered, you had already deregistered them by not including their names.
So you would disenfranchise them first?
Yes.
And then you now deregistered them? Now, so there are lots of sides to the story. By the time INEC goes to court now, they're going to be doing an appeal for the deregistration. They're going to do an appeal for the real...
I doubt if INEC will... I don't think they will go that route because they will just be wasting the time of the court, wasting the time of the public, wasting their own time. Because you can't say, you can't go and be appealing on the registration. At what time did you deregister this party? Did you follow the process? Did you include them? And that they did not in the election? There's no how you will say you would register me when my party, whatever, did not participate in the election that you said I didn't win councillor. If you had put me there, possibly I would have won a ward or a seat or something.
So very true. Very true.
You have a point.
All right,
but the court will decide.
We're going straight to the Unilag matter, and I'm sure that I know you have vested interest in this one.
I'm a stakeholder.
I know you have a vested interest in this one. Now, Unilag VC and their supposed acting VC both refused to assume office. The old man didn't resume. The new man also didn't go to office.
No, so I thought they said Shoyombo resumed yesterday, and a lot of security was
actually DSS took over the Senate. DSS took over the Senate building of Unilag yesterday, and both of them have refused to take the position as we speak. It's still in the papers this morning. Now you are a stakeholder in this matter because it's your alma mater.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, let's start from the beginning. Everybody's in court.
An alumni and also an ESCO of one of the ESCO members of the alumni.
Of the alumni.
So I'm a stakeholder.
So talk to us. Unilag issue. First of all, let's start from Dr. Wale Babalaki sacking the VC. Legal perspective.
Is tight, but I will eat it and be objective in my analysis because Dr. Wale Babalaki is an egbon to me, yes, and the school, my alma mater, and all the number of people that have been speaking so far, the professors from Faculty of Law are like mothers and fathers to me.
Wow.
So this you can see that.
So you're putting you on the spot.
On the spot, yeah.
But we expect you to give your perspective anyway.
When we have to look at it legally, the legal aspect of this, I would say my uncle and my egbon probably did not look at this very well before those actions were taken. Now, Dr. Babalaki actually went on air to talk to Nigerians about the actions. One.
That was yesterday.
No, before yesterday. Because it was on, I think one TV station and
yes.
And I listened to him. And I was shocked. My boy, uncle, no. Yes, we're younger and senior advocate. You should know better. Now, Babalaki was telling the people that the 2003 Act, that's the University Act of Miscellaneous and Provisions and all that, 2003, it was telling us that it was no longer the law, that there had been another law of of 2009. I asked, I checked. There was nothing like 2009 law. Now, it's simple, and I'll break it up. When laws have been amended, it may be some sections of those laws that were amended. Now, amendment does not constitute repeal. And I'm going to use an example that everybody can relate with. We have the 1999 Constitution of Nigeria. Now, this same Constitution that was that came to place in 1999. Have we not had several amendments on that same Constitution?
Yes.
Different years. Now, when we refer to that Constitution, do we say 2007 Constitution?
It's still the 1999.
We still call it 1999 Constitution as amended.
Okay. At least that I know.
So, for Monday to then come on air to say that law does not exist, that is not true, because what Dr. Babalake was talking about amended, the amendment were only 3 sections, and that's even 2012. The amendment was only 3 sections, and that is section 5, section 6, and section 5, 6, and 8 of 2003. You must ask. These are the 3 sections. They have nothing to do with section 3. Section 3 that has to do with what has happened in University of Lagos was not amended.
Never amended. Was
never amended. So when you call it, you say 2003 law as amended. It's not a repeal law. They didn't repeal the old laws. So coming on here to say I don't even know about the 2009. I've been asking, checking. I couldn't find any 2009. 2003 there was, and I know of 2012, and that was the 3 sections that I mentioned.
When this document appeal, or when this amendments are done, aren't they made public?
They're gazetted.
Now, so it's supposed to be in the public sphere.
Yes.
Okay. Now, so we know that as at now, everyone that has spoken so far have been talking about the fact that there was supposed to be a panel set up, and the panel was supposed to make recommendations to the president, and the president is the one, through the Minister of Education, to do this deed.
No, hold on. Before, it was the visitors, who happens to be Mr. President, that decide that probably appoint and all those things. But in the amendment 1 that we had, that was the 2003 that we had, the 2003 laws, was when the sections were now made clearly to state that the visitor is no longer the one, then the power was now being given to the council. Now, having said that, why it was given to the council, but section 3, subsection 8, subsection 8 to 11 or to 12, thereabout, made it clear the procedures to follow. If you have to remove, if you have to appoint, all the procedures were there. But the question is, did the council follow those procedures? The answer is no.
Just to sit in the council start and they said 7 voted.
In fact, doctor said a lot of things, and
7 people
I had issues with them because you said yes, the Senate was, how can you? In fact, there's a way he addressed the Senate which I didn't like. You calling them just maybe some social gathering? No, you are only chairman of the council. That's the protest. You are the chairman of the council. Now the Senate is the body, the organ that sees to the day-to-day activities of the university, of the school. They decide all this, so you don't even know what they do. So then you can't call them names. If those people had a meeting, then you are saying they call an emergency meeting. At the emergency meeting, they agree on a thing. It does not lie in your mouth to then call them kangaroo set of people or call them names. No. He's a senior advocate.
Senate together in a school. Are they appointed?
No, yes. By elections and all that, they like that in the university. Every university.
By the pro-chancellor?
No, not by the pro-chancellor. That's the reason why I said this is like the same way you have. It's not the executive that made the Senate or the House of Assembly members. You are the people that make, so they have the elections during the time for all those things. They have that, so you have Senate members which do all the works, all the necessary activities in school and all that, which the vice chancellor, the deputy, they have deputy academic, they have deputy admin and all that. All of them are involved in this. So if at all you have to do what you have to do, the council has right to remove, but procedures, due process must be followed. Now, the law says section 3 subsection 8 9 11 up to 12 made it clear that you have 3 council members, which one of them will be the chairman of the council. Then you have 2 senate members. Are you with me? Being part of, because that's the committee. The law says they have to form a committee to investigate or to, for the approval and all those things. So now, the law had made provision for the people to form the committee. The question is, was the committee formed like that?
Now, let's even assume all these were done, put in place and all that. There's a deputy vice chairman. In a case, vice chancellor rather, in a case that we have to even, take away the VC, is it not proper or in place that the deputy steps in instead of some random person?
No, there's also a procedure for that. The procedure is the Senate. If they had removed, don't forget that the deputy, all those people are also members. Now, it is the Senate that will come together and have a vote
and make a decision on that.
They recommend whoever. Yes.
So it is not automatically.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Then they recommend whoever that had come up to the council.
In this case,
now, so the council is supposed to issue an instrument to say, okay, this is the activity or the VC of the school. But this council didn't do that.
Okay. So there are so many sides. This morning I can see in the papers that Showambo had gone to address the workers of the university amidst the security and panel and all that. He was telling them that he has resumed effectively on all the blah and blah and blah and blah. Now, with all this brouhaha still going on, and he has come up to address, to say he has resumed. I have resumed.
Unfortunately, as we speak, you see, it's because this has been happening, even at the top. The executive, we're talking about the country at large, the executive and whatever. Because, you see, you cannot have an acting VC. Showambo cannot be an acting VC when it was not properly appointed.
So, all this he's doing this morning, according to the law.
According to the law, is illegal ab initio. But because the power that bees, you talked about DSS in Unilag. I don't see reason why DSS should be there. Why? Because you see that maybe Dr. Abalaki, he has his own people in the presidency and he's getting their backing to do whatever that he's doing. And you see, we live in an impunity environment.
You see, okay, let me cut you a bit.
We need to actually go. We need to go. We need to let him go because our next guest is available right now. Our next guest is in the studio.
Sorry.
But it's quite interesting for me that we know that all the appointments, all the.
I wish you had given me 1 hour to really address this. Look at it.
Don't worry, we can always look at it another day. We can always look at it again. This matter is one that we're going to follow closely and see exactly what pans out, what happens at the end of it. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning, and of course we look forward to having you again and again. Basically on Zoom.
Thank you so much, my namesake. I've been wondering.
Yes, good. She's been asking after you.
Yeah.
But we need to go. We need to take a break now. Our next guest is in the studio, and we're talking about flood. We'll be back.
Dear Diary, it's been many weeks. There is no school. I'm very bored. Dear Diary, I'm so bored. There's no park open. No Friday prayer with Dad. Mommy says everybody has to stay at home because of this coronavirus disease called COVID-19 that is making lots of people sick all over the world. COVID-19 attacks the lungs and makes it difficult to breathe. And with a fever, feeling more tired and often coughing. And there's no cure. So stay at home. Tell mommy and daddy too. They must stay home so they don't bring back this coronavirus with them. If we all stay at home for now and make this sacrifice, after some time we can return to school again. We can attend parties again. We can play in the park again. But for that to happen, we must all play our part.
Help keep yourselves and those around you safe from the coronavirus disease. Wash your hands with soap. Cover your coughs and sneezes with a tissue or with a bent elbow, and maintain physical distance. When you stay home, you help keep everyone safe. The future of your family, community and country is in your hands. Play your part.
Welcome back. It's still the bumper breakfast, and of course this morning we're talking to an architect and a town planner who will tell us exactly how urban development and flooding should work. Now remember that the Met had issued a warning to all Nigerians who live in flood-prone areas, and we're focusing on Lagos, the riverine areas. You're looking at Calabar, you're looking at River State. Now the states that are all around the riverbeds in Nigeria, and we're looking at how they can mitigate against the flooding permanently. Now Lagos is prone to flood. Just yesterday, the Commissioner for Environment had been talking to Lagosians about what they need to do about flooding. A lot of people may need to relocate, but is that a feasible plan? But of course, Mr. Tomisin Ojo is an architect and a town planner. We'll be talking to us about that this morning. Good to have you in our studios.
It's my pleasure.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
You allowed me to wake you up very early, and I must say thank you.
Yes, and I went through this whole
traffic.
I mean, at some point, I had to send you a message. Please begin to read your Psalms so that I'll be able to.
Where are you coming from?
I'm coming from Agege.
I can only imagine.
That bottleneck, that person in my.
You have to enjoy it, while it lasts. But the sucker at the end, we can see a ray of sunshine.
Oh, of course, light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes, sir. Let's talk about flood in Lagos. Now, I know that you live in an area that may not necessarily be prone to flood, but you're surrounded as well by a lot of areas that are usually, submerged in flood. We're talking about the Okobas of this world, and when you look at Okoba, they're just sister, the Tusha sister of Agege. You know, you have Odi Okoba, and you're coming all the way to Ikeja, you're coming all the way to Isheri, you're coming all the way to Majidu, Magodo. There are so many areas in Lagos, not to talk of the island itself. This is a call that people should relocate. Do you see it as a visible plan?
Thank you very much. Let me address the issue of flood.
May I touch your glass a little?
Yes, why not?
Okay, please, go
Let me just explain certain things about flood. I mean, and then let's look at the types of flood so that you'll be able to understand, you know, how this flood affects our lives. You have what we call the fluvial flooding, you have the pluvial flooding, and then we have the coastal surge. Now, for the fluvial flooding, we're talking about the overflow from the rivers. Overflow from the rivers occasioned by heavy rainfall, occasioned by breaking dams. I mean, upstream. You are talking about the breaking of the ice that are not supposed to be broken, occasioned by the depiction of the ozone layer, causing global warming, so that some of these Arctic regions that are not supposed to, their ice are not supposed to break. You understand? They are breaking, and they are increasing the volume of water in our rivers and our ocean. Now, so that is the pluvial.
Yes.
I mean the pluvial. When we talk about the pluvial is what you call your flash flooding. I mean, just occasioned by rainfall, and then when the drainages cannot contain the water, they have overwhelmed the drainages. Then, of course, you have the storm water on the road or in our homes and what have you, and over time it goes out and then it dries out. Now, of course, the coastal surge, that one we're talking about the activities of the ocean. You understand? You have some areas they are depositional in activity. In some areas, it is erosional. For example, in Lagos here, we have two activities of the ocean. You have the one at Eba Beach. The one at Eba Beach there is the erosional type. You know, what does that mean? It splashes. It brings the waters and flood the whole area. And that was why they have to build this put these boulders to really ward off the activities of the ocean there. Now, the one at Badagry is depositional. What does that one do? It brings sand from the ocean and deposits it. So to this season, you may have a kilometer. The next season, by the time you go there, you may have, say, 1.5 kilometers. So it's increasing.
Taking the land.
No, not taking the land now. Not taking the land. It's actually giving land. Even for mining, you know? Yes, even for mining. So, you know, if you go to Bar Beach, the distance you cover this year to get to the brinks of the ocean, you understand? For this year, that one of last year, this year will be different. So that is the position. Now, having laid this background, then we can now begin to look at
the issues
that surrounds each of these, and then begin to look at how we can mitigate against some of them. Some of them are actually man-made. You understand? Some of them, for example, if you are looking at the way we are urbanized, the way, you know, population, Lagos, everybody is coming in, and there is getting overpopulated, and of course, pressure on the land, and all the floodplains are being encroached upon. As we speak,
houses built everywhere.
Yes. For the They say a large chunk